Welcome to the Washdown podcast, episode number 47. This week's guest is a returning guest, Zach Poe. You guys may remember Zach is a Marine Corps veteran, and also he is a hunting guide. So, yeah, we sat down and talked about the upcoming hunting season, some things that he's got in the works, and it's just a great conversation. So, hope you guys enjoy episode number 47 of the Washdown podcast with guest Zach Poe. Well, see, and that's the thing, and we've talked about it on the podcast before. It's that, you know, the way that we want to do this is, it's like the kitchen table, you know, at the fire station or wherever. You're just sitting down having a conversation.
Oh, definitely.
And if I'm sitting here with a notebook and I'm, okay, question number 1. And then I'm not even listening to what you're actually saying.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for you to get to a stopping point so I can ask you question number 2.
Yeah.
And there's something about that just seems disingenuous to me.
It gets exhausting to your guests, too. It really does, man. It's because you get to question number 2 and you're like, all right, I really got to be on my game because we never talked about what we were going to talk about in the first place.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like this onslaught of questions and it's like, okay, sure. Here we go.
Yeah. Well, and that's something we could probably do better too, is have a longer conversation beforehand of, hey, you're coming on the show. This is what we want you to talk about. And if you're cool talking about it, cool. And if not, figure something else out. And I think that's part of the learning process of doing this.
Well,
excuse
definitely.
me.
100%.
Because we have a mission statement per se, mental health and all of that. That's kind of what we're pushing and, what we want to talk about. And do we always hit that? Probably not.
Yeah.
But,
But it's a learning curve, and sometimes people are ready to talk about it, and then it's put up or shut up time, and they're like, oh, okay, maybe we weren't. Yeah. Maybe I wasn't there, but I can BS about this for the next 30 minutes, you know? So it happens. Yeah. It's part of it.
On a side note, welcome back to the show, Zach.
Yeah. Glad to be back, man.
Yeah.
Glad to be back. So glad you guys caught me when you did. It's about to get crazy.
Yeah. Hunting season's about to kick off.
Yes, it is. It's already, our tease has happened. You know what I mean? That little foreplay of teal season's already started. And so that ends this weekend. And then it's back to twiddling my thumbs until the end of October. So hopefully I can get this kids hunt set up for the first weekend of October. Keep a little bit of sanity in me and, get some new kids out. And it's a pretty cool program that the state of Kansas does. I mean, well, most states do it, but the state of Kansas finally jumped on board with, so they, on the youth days here, veterans can also shoot.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, which I think is pretty awesome. I don't necessarily agree that it should be on Youth Day.
Yeah, maybe a different day.
I feel a little dirty going out knowing that, only kids that are under 16 are supposed to be shooting. And but, if I'm able to get this set up, it might actually work out because now I can play cleanup and, kids can actually have the opportunity to kill birds and, hopefully, I don't know. It's looking like they might have an opportunity to see an awful lot of birds.
Move the mic back just a little bit from your face. There you go.
So, yeah, it's looking like we can probably get them on some birds. But
that was too far.
I don't know.
Don't pull a Moran, please. So youth hunts, I mean, I can speak from my own experience with that. As growing up as a kid in Louisiana, I mean, we did have those youth days, and obviously I hunted before then. That wasn't my introduction to hunting,
right?
But I think for a lot of people it could be, that don't.
I would say that, and then you always have that. You got to think about it. It's young kids. It's kids under 16. You know what I mean? And how many times did I know I can speak from experience that we'd go out with my dad or my grandpa, and I wouldn't even shoot because the adults are shooting, and heck, half the time I don't even have time to grab my shotgun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when they limit it to, hey, only the kids are shooting, that's it. I mean, it's I wish more people took advantage of it, specifically more people in my line of work. I mean, you have a great opportunity in front of you.
Well, yeah, you're building the next generation.
And that's if we don't teach these kids, like, this sport dies with me,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, not only that, but the whole conservation aspect of it, because it opens the door to talk about, being a good steward of the land and, of animals and all that stuff, and why it's important to do the hunt.
There's so many talking points that are so easily teachable to children when you take them out and you get them outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Even down to the, like, if you don't even get in the conversation, just the brass tacks of, like, hey, I know we talked about this gun thing, and I told you not to play with it. It's not a toy. I told you not to point it at anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But now you are the one pulling the trigger, and you see the power of what it actually is. And, you can just, if anything, you can drive home the gun safety point on that. And, I mean, think about how many accidents you could avoid just taking a kid hunting once, and all they take from it is like, oh, no, they're really not kidding. Like, this will kill something.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I mean, it's that whole, the unknown.
Yep.
And they don't understand.
Yeah, a lot of...
So.
I know when I was a kid, I'm 31, man. You tell me not to press the red button, there's going to be a serious moral dilemma that goes on as to whether or not I want to press the red button. So...
yeah, I mean, growing up, and maybe I shouldn't say this, but, we had our guns in a gun cabinet, did not have a lock on it.
Yeah.
Not even like a place for a lock, because I knew at a very, very young age, these are dangerous. Do not touch them.
Yeah.
They're for one thing.
Yeah.
I
was the same. My parents kept theirs in the closet. I knew exactly where they were. I didn't know what a gun case was until I was 14 or 15.
Yep. Went to your rich friend's house.
Yeah, that's what it was. I did.
Yep.
I went to my rich friend out in the Blue Valley District's house.
Oh, shit. Yeah, no, but I think the youth hunting programs, I don't know. Obviously, I don't have kids, so I haven't paid that much attention to them, but I would almost think that it's kind of dying off.
Definitely. I really do think it is. And I think it's dying off because the sport itself is dying off, They talk about duck stamp sales and, like, there's all this, all these numbers to back how many duck hunters we have. But in reality, like, they're maybe weekend warriors. They are. And 9 times out of 10, like, my biggest struggle has been like, hey, I'm an outfitter. I want to take kids hunting. You know what the first question I get asked is? Well, how much does it cost?
Oh, yeah.
No, man. Like, I didn't even suggest any of that. And I mean, I'm doing a veterans hunt Halloween weekend, and it's free. Like, to me, that's my bread and butter, just getting people out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm going anyways.
Yeah.
And frankly, the way I look at it and I wish people would give me the time of day to explain, is it's not that I'm experimenting while I'm out there with your kid, right? But that's the first client-based hunt of the year, 9 times out of 10, right? So it's a knock the rust off. And it's kids that are eager to be out there and they want to learn. And it's a knock the rust off for me and my guys, my dog. And okay, cool. Now we're out of the way so that the paying clients can get, they don't see the big F-ups here and there. You know what I mean? They don't see oh, yeah, I did forget those full body decoys that I was going to put in the truck last because I was in a rush. Like, they don't see that.
Yeah.
I've literally never done that, but I have left a shotgun at the house before, so.
It seems to me that would be an important piece of equipment to have.
That's what I'm told.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I guess you could throw rocks at it.
I don't know. I got a heck of an arm, but I'm not quite sure it's worth throwing shotgun shells that are $2 a pop to figure out if it's that good.
Motherfucker.
So, but yep. Yeah, it's definitely a dying thing.
Well, but I think if you could get more kids interested in it at a younger age and instill that, love of being outdoors and doing that kind of stuff, maybe it wouldn't die off quite so fast.
Yeah. Well,
That
requires taking away video games and get your little ass outside. Don't come back in until the street lights are on.
Yeah. Well,
You know.
and it's a constant competition for attention.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I've got nieces and nephews, and I see all of the, okay, well, we got soccer this night, volleyball this night, basketball this night, football this night, gymnastics. I mean, like, okay, plus schoolwork. And then not to mention, if you have a kid that's actually halfway decent at sports, or even if you're just one of those parents,
Yeah.
okay, well, now my kid's going to play on a travel team, and we're going to, all that stuff costs money.
We're going to go to these clinics. We're going to do,
Yeah.
baseball practice only 2 nights a week with the team, but he's going to a clinic,
Yeah.
the
other 5 nights.
Yeah, the other 5 nights out of the week. And-
Yeah.
oh, yeah. I totally get it. I mean, it's,
Yeah. Well, that's one of the biggest things with, like, I mean, I play softball on a Sunday night league,
Right.
a bunch of other old dudes. And, we've lost guys from the team because their kids get to that age where they're starting to be competitive at sports.
Yep.
And by that, I mean 8,
oh, yeah.
9 years old. Well, they're playing on Sunday nights.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a kid, we did not play baseball on Sunday nights.
Or they're at an all-weekend tournament
Yeah.
at 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, and they've played 5 or 6 games since Friday night at 10 o'clock, and it's like, whoa, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't do that as adults.
Yeah.
I
No.
mean, well, I know some dudes that play that much softball.
I probably would,
Yeah.
but, yeah, I just don't.
I did that one weekend. I had a charity tournament with the fire department,
Yeah.
and then that was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning, and then Sunday night I had my regular league games. Let's just say, for the next week, I wasn't in such great shape.
Yeah. I hit that 3-0, and it hit me like a freight train. The tournament, the weekend tournament softballs came to a screeching halt. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely not. So,
Still fun though.
it really is.
I forget
It
that
is.
I'm 41.
I mean, that's what, I got scars all over my arms from reliving my glory days.
Oh,
so.
yeah. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
diving.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
so diving.
Oh, yeah.
I actually slid again this season. I
Did you?
made it through the whole spring session without sliding. Messed it up about 3 weeks ago. I still, same spot on my left leg rips open every time.
Oh, man, I finally bucked up and bought a pair of pants because I just accepted that I'm not
That's
going to
with pants
stop.
on.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
The way that I slide, I dig that knee into the ground, and
I'm sure you're playing on very well manicured fields too.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's not a rock or hard spot to be
No,
found.
Not at all. Not at all. Yeah.
We had a guy playing shortstop. He's down on the ball, about 6 feet in front of him. It hits an invisible force field or something. That thing just shot over his head, and I mean it
Oh, yeah.
right over. And everybody's like, "Whoa!"
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and that's not the only time. That's why I don't play in the infield anymore.
Yeah. That's my jam. I got to stay in the dirt.
Uh,
Too much running in that grass, man.
Dude,
It's
it's
too much like cardio. And who does cardio nowadays?
well, I still do cardio.
Okay, well, nobody likes an overachiever either. So.
No, dude, and I'll tell you why I left the infield. The ultimate reason, I felt like I lost a step.
Yeah.
Just I wasn't quite as explosive anymore. And we got a couple of guys that are younger on the team that can do a better job.
Yeah.
So, like, you know what? You play that position. You play shortstop. I'm going to go out in the outfield because I still have the overall speed. It's
Right.
just, it takes me a second.
Well, and I mean, let's be real. Like, those one hoppers that come off your chest all of a sudden takes a little bit longer to recover from that.
Yeah. If it hits me in the chest, I don't really care.
Yeah.
It's whenever they bang off my shins.
Yep.
That's the worst for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm good at getting kneecapped. That's my real popular one.
Yeah.
So. Yep. Softball glory days, man.
Dude, it's awesome.
Can't believe I'm getting old.
You ought to play with us next year. It'd be fun.
I might.
I mean,
come out.
it's a long drive, but we
Yeah.
got another guy that comes from down there. Actually, 2 guys that come from down there to play.
Yeah, I might jump on it. We'll see what work looks like next year.
Yeah.
I might
Like I
come
said,
join you guys.
Sunday nights.
Yeah.
No excuses.
Yeah. A 6-year-old that I'll have all summer.
Okay, well, that's a valid excuse. I'll grant that.
Yeah, I mean, It's not the how she acts at the ballpark because she knows better.
Yeah.
It's the shit show that occurs when we get in the truck on the hour drive home. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you'll have that.
she's a good girl.
So, big plans for this hunting season?
A little bit. We've actually kind of scaled back a lot of our big plans that we had. We were gonna move into Oklahoma a little bit, and then we were looking at moving into South Dakota. And me and my partner just kind of realized that, we really need to step up our social media game. Funny, we were just talking about that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's just a necessary evil nowadays. And so we kind of decided that, hey, let's really get solidified in one area. And, solid guaranteed good hunts every time throughout the season. And then we can worry about, branching out from there. And, because our big thing right now is content, like social media content.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I start running my ass ragged through 2 different states, it's, man, I don't care where the cameraman's going to hide. That's his problem.
Yeah.
I've put 300 miles on my truck today just trying to find this feed, and there's nowhere for him to hide. And then we go out there and we shoot an 8-man or a 10-man limit, and I have nothing but a pile pick to show, which is just, it's counterproductive at that point for what we're trying to do. So, biggest plans right now, really the thing that I'm most excited for is Halloween weekend. I got with the local organization called the Fallen Outdoors. That's all they do is they take vets on guided hunting and chartered fishing trips. And it's kind of like they do a lot of donated guided trips, and then, vets link up with each other in there, and they take each other out, and it's a really cool community. And I linked up with the guys in Kansas and said, hey, man, I want to donate this. And it actually works out because the way the zones are in Kansas, the weekend of Halloween is actually opening youth in one zone, but regular season opens in like a zone up north. Mm-hmm. And that's where we're going to be. So hopefully we'll get him on some birds. But he put it out there, and, I didn't really think anything about it. And he had 62 people apply for this hunt. From across the Midwest. I think that he said the furthest guys he's got are, I want to say it was northern Wisconsin.
Nice.
And he had 62 people that just wanted to come hunt, and they're vets, they're my people.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really fired up for that. I'm talking to the guys. We're actually talking about doing the following weekend, doing it again, just because we're all going to go hunting anyways. So, and I don't really have any clients firing up until about November, so we might as well get it in. And the way the split works, we got a real short season in October that we all planned on hunting real hard in. Might as well get some guys out. So that's my real big plan coming up, and we're like real fired. We're all real fired up for that. So
nice.
And then I think trying to get the Combat Waterfowl boys, which is, I'm wearing it right now, and then the hat. It's buddies of mine from North Carolina. It's a veteran-owned apparel company. They're trying to make it out here this year. We're going to get them out and, kind of help them get some contents for their shirts and hats and stuff. And obviously they're friends, so it's, who doesn't like to take a break from dealing with random people and actually go hunt with my buddies.
Yeah.
But yeah, our big plans this year is we are hunting a lot, and we are taking a lot of photos and a lot of social media content. And we're going to try and trickle it in. And then for those of you that aren't following Renting Steel Waterfowl on Instagram or Facebook, we're going to trickle it in. And then next summer, I'm just going to force feed it to the world of social media.
There you go.
So, yeah.
Well, dude, yeah, definitely make sure you write that down so I can put it to the link of the description.
Oh, yeah.
For the video.
Yeah, so. I definitely will. Yeah. So, but yeah, nothing too crazy with that. So, that, and it's our second year in operation. And last time, I would say I'm a little more lively this appearance. Last year you guys caught me in hardcore zombie mode, man.
Yeah.
I think I drank 3 or 4 monsters just sitting here in the span of 30 minutes. And then, and then literally went and got in my truck and put 150 miles on it that evening. And I was just, you know, so trying to take it easy and make sure that we set ourselves up for the future instead of just.
Well, set yourself up for success.
Yeah. Success in the future. I mean, it's, and sometimes running ragged isn't always the answer.
No. And I think, you know, we've talked about that with this podcast about, you know, yes, we want to be consistent with content and all that stuff, but it really matters what you're putting out there. So, like for you, whenever you do take people on a hunt, it matters that it's successful.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, every time you take somebody out and they don't shoot enough birds, or maybe they don't shoot any birds, or, you know, whatever, that kind of, it's not happening in a vacuum.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's, and that's a, you know, that's the unfortunate part about the business is that, like, I'm a guide, not God, you know? I think we talked about it last time. Like, I can't control what happens.
Yeah.
The most I can do is be honest with you and be like, man, I'm not real confident in how this is going to turn out today.
Yeah. Well, and I think some people need to understand that too.
Yeah.
And I think where you get kind of that disconnect is people that maybe don't really hunt or haven't hunted and don't really understand that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I can't tell you how many times where, you know, back home, me and my dad, we go out before deer season, scout out. Yes, they're everywhere. This is where they're going to be. Set up. Get there. Nothing.
Yeah.
It's like,
oh, yeah.
I mean, animals move.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're called wild animals for a reason. But, I mean, yeah, it's well, you have that. And then you also have the mentality of this whole. People don't realize that when you hire an outfitter, you're hiring. We are a service industry. You know what I mean? Like, I am providing you with scouting, setting up the decoys, lodging if I have it, food, you know, the whole 9 yards. Like, I'm providing you with a service. And I wouldn't say that the ducks are a bonus. That's the main. Ducks and the waterfowl is the main goal.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like, they have this mentality that, like, oh, well, I'm paying for a limit. Well, I don't know if you've noticed, but the last 2 nights it's been full moons, and we've had the wind switch from the south to the north. And yet, Monday night, I mean, it was whipping out of the north. I can't control that. I can't predict that. What I can tell you is that everything that I had up north with birds on it doesn't have a single one. I know because I went out Tuesday morning looking for them. You know, there's factors that, like, I just cannot control. So at that point, I'm going to work my ass off for everybody because I feel that, like, it's your hard-earned money and you deserve it. But at the same time, like, you got to be real about it. Like, if you were back home in the same situation, you're not killing any more birds than I'm killing today. You know, I think that gets lost on some people, and it's part of it. I mean, it's part of the industry. You know, you're always you can't please everybody.
Yeah. Well, that goes with any type of job.
Yeah, literally everything.
Yeah.
So you can't please everybody, and nor do I really want to please everybody.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing with, you know, for me as a firefighter.
Yeah.
You know, people call us to be there and then ain't happy.
Yeah.
It's like, look, there's only so much we can do, you know. After that, it's out of our control.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know, man. I think that's people.
That's the honest truth, man. Like, that is what makes the industry. That's the nightmares of the industry.
Yeah.
You know, is people that act like that. But, you know, I could never guide a hunt again and go work construction, and there's still going to be somebody that's going to bitch at me for something I'm doing.
Absolutely.
That they don't approve with.
Probably more so.
Yeah. Whether they have the qualifications to tell me what I'm doing right or not.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are, that's really the goals. I'm actually a lot more excited for it this year than I was kind of before. I was starting to get a little overwhelmed after we talked throughout the summer last time, you know. And now it's like we have a very clear and concise path. And to be honest with you, like, it's a lot of fun to go out and hunt, right? But it's even more fun to go out and have the added challenge of I have clients and I'm trying to produce good media content to go with that. You know, so it's trying to get that perfect image, you know, or you have that photographer out there that he's like, it's that extra challenge of having to hide him right here next to me because that's where he wants to be. And so I'm really excited to see what we can do this year. I mean, I've got a lot of experience working with a lot of really good photographers. I've learned a lot from them. I'm kind of dabbling in it myself. I think I'm going to go more on the video side this year just for shits and grins, and let the pros take the pictures. Because, you know, there's like all those settings and things and numbers and shit that science or something like that. I don't know.
I know nothing about photography.
Yeah.
I know even less about videography.
I know with the video camera I can hit auto.
And
just hope that it stays focused.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and even then, I mean, if you're talking about, you're going to make a, 2-minute YouTube video or something.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it's a little bit out of focus, who cares? I mean, obviously, I say that, but, you want it to be a good product, and you want it to be visible and all that stuff, which is, like, had conversations about that. Like, our first few, actually, a lot of our first episodes, until I figured out how to use the editing software, I mean, they look terrible.
Yeah.
And we've changed no gear. It's just figuring out how to use that editing software because I was hitting the wrong button. So it was actually decreasing the resolution, and which made it, download and convert and upload, and it made all that faster. Well, yeah, because it's 480p that it's
right.
Yeah. That's like, I might as well just be drawing shit and just show you pictures, slides. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, the episode that we had last night had a buddy of mine on, and he's he's actually still in the military, but the topic of Marines came up, and so crayons got mentioned.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm going to put some on the table.
So I'm not going to lie. Apparently, I know you're not big on the social media thing. There is a TikTok going around. I kind of hope it's real. It was a box of cereal, and I can't remember what it was. It was like Fruity Pebble or something stupid, and it was crayon flavored.
Oh, that's awesome.
I hope it was. I hope it was real. I feel like it was probably a really good Photoshop and some good editing. But just because, I mean, like, that's the joke. Like, why not? And I'm all about it. Like, I love it. We did a mess night, and I literally had a company commander eat crowns. It's on YouTube. Google it. Like, it's a real thing.
Nice.
And it's so, the joke's not lost on us, and we kind of embrace it. You know?
Well, I think it's that whole, you got to have a sense of humor a little bit, and it's got to be a little bit left to center.
Oh,
you know? Yeah. And yeah,
definitely. Well, and that was something that a buddy of mine that you'd introduced me to, and I were talking about. Is that like, I'm a big proponent of the vet hunts and doing a first responder hunt because, like, those are our people.
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta. That's part of how, like, we deal with trauma. Is we have that dark sense of humor. We have that little bit of left kind of humor, and. I think it's positive. From the outside, people think that we're absolute lunatics, but I don't really care about their opinion, know. And so, I mean, like the crown thing, and just all of the just raunchy jokes that we could get into.
Oh yeah.
About military branches bickering back and forth with each other. Yep. I mean, we could get after it like real quick.
And it's that thing of, you can say that about them and they can say that about you. But let Joe Schmo off the street say that shit.
And all three of us are beating his ass.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, oh, man, I had a thought and I fucking lost it. I hate when that happens.
Squirrel.
It'll come back to me, I hope. But it's pertaining to that. Because I watched, we just had one released today with Elliot Alexander, the buddy of mine that I went through the academy with, and we were talking about something. It'll come to me. Just move on. God, I feel like an idiot.
All right, moving on.
Moving on.
But But yeah, and then so I think another big thing that we're actually looking into, not this season, this hunting season, more spring, early spring and summer. Aside from those damn snow geese that for whatever reason I just have this burning desire to kill all of them, and I don't. It's gonna kill me one of these days, I swear. You
gotta let it go, Zach.
I don't know if I can. Like, I hate them with a passion.
Did I ever tell you the fucking story? So, whenever my dad passed, I had to go down to Louisiana and, took my truck down there in a trailer and loaded up a bunch of stuff and brought it back. So, Nelson and me we are on the interstate heading back north.
Okay.
It's fucking 75, 80 miles an hour. This fucking goose out of nowhere right into the side of my truck.
See, man, like that's my point in case. They are a menace to society.
They are. Luckily, didn't it hit the A post.
Yeah.
And rolled down the side.
Jesus.
So it didn't even scratch the truck, which was awesome. And you saw the fucking goose helicoptering in the air on the interstate.
I might or might not know a guy that was going goose hunting one morning that had one fly through his radiator at 85 miles an hour. True story. And I'm looking, as soon as I find the picture, I will send it to you and you can post it. Because it was me. And I'm not afraid to admit it.
Dude, I know a guy who had an owl fly through the windshield of a fire truck.
Oh, no shit.
Running hot to a fire.
No shit.
Yep.
Dude, I couldn't. I've been in a truck when we had a turkey come out of a roost. And I mean, we're going hunting. And we're going, I think we were going duck hunting on public land. It's 2:30 in the morning.
Yep.
And I don't know, maybe he just didn't like the tree limb that he was on and decided that crossing 69 highway was appropriate. And he literally flew, we were driving and he hit, and thank God, it's honestly a miracle that nobody was hurt. Cause I mean, this is a big bird, and he hit the driver's side windshield and I mean, just blew everything out. It was the wildest thing I've ever, and you hear about it.
Yeah.
But then again, how often do you see it, you
Yeah.
know, and then
almost never.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it's oh, that's a real thing, man. And let me tell you how ugly that actually is.
I got it in my mouth.
Yeah, and then you don't know if it's your blood or turkey blood or what the hell is going on here. And
yep.
Oh yeah, yep. But yeah, so I don't know. Well, after the snow goose thing, we're gonna try and get because they canceled. So they have the banding project throughout. It's actually an international project that they do, and it's used for tracking birds. So if you go to Squaw Creek in the spring when all the snow geese show up, and you look around, some of them will have neck collars on, some of them will be on the bank with little shiny bands on their feet.
Mm-hmm.
And those bands, all those birds, those bands have an individual serial number to them. And bird watchers and biologists can report those bands along with hunters, and they use them to track, migration habits. And it's a really cool program. You get a lot of information about the bird. They'll say, depending on what stage the bird got banded at, it'll say it was hatched on this date, and this is how old the bird is, or hatched this month. This is how old the bird is, and this is where it was hatched at. And then you can literally make a judgment of, oh man, I'm in southern Louisiana and I just shot a bird that was banded in Alberta, or something like that. So they canceled a lot of them last year due to the pandemic, which I mean is unfortunate, but I understand it. And so hopefully they will be very heavy on the banding project. Some of the biologists that I've talked about is they're looking at doubling them this upcoming year in the spring, right after all the hatches. And it's a really, really cool project. Really good to get kids into. So hopefully we're going to be able to get all the guys up there, get some more footage of that, do that. I don't know. We'll see where it works at. If they're going to do it here, we're going to obviously jump on it. But a lot of that occurs in South Dakota, North Dakota.
Yeah.
The northern states where the breeding grounds and hatching grounds are. So that's another big one that we got going. And then kind of, Katie, don't hate me, all right? Don't hold this against me. But I'm really contemplating on making a legitimate effort. I was going to do it last summer, getting the dog back into hunt tests and trials, because the poor bastard's so bored over the summer. And it's so hot here that I can't work him. But, you go 6 hours north of North Dakota or South Dakota, and it's 30, 40 degrees colder up there all year. So we're kind of thinking about getting into that.
So would you do that to, like, film content? And
Yeah, we'd run content, but that's more just kind of I enjoy it. It's that's my, I say it all the time, outside of hunting, like, going out with my dog and working my dog is like my peace. That's my cool down session, which I know for those of you that have dogs, you think I'm an absolute lunatic because I know that dogs drive people nuts, especially trained ones. But it really is.
Only if they're not working.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And you said it.
Yeah.
He gets bored and...
Yeah, he gets bored, and he's not as bad, but he does have his moments of being a little tiny terror. And, just taking him out and, like, it's me and my dog, and I trained him myself, so this is a product of my work, and I can't even say my work, it's our work together, and that's whether I'm just at the dog park training or I am at the Grand Nationals, which is like, or an SRS trial, which is, the big leagues. Like, it doesn't matter. That moment where I line that dog up, like, it is me and you, and this is, you fail because of me, but at the same time, like, I can fail because you just decide that it's not your day, and we are the epitome of teamwork. And that is, man, we could have clients come in and just absolutely rain out birds all day, and I will tell you that I will leave pissed off, and Katie be like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "Gunner worked like shit. He was an absolute asshole today." Okay, so I'm gonna get food, and then we're going in the backyard, and this is like a bad football practice that's about to happen. Like, we're gonna have our little come to Jesus meeting real quick, and because we're not having a repeat of this tomorrow, and so but that's the pride that comes with why we were so successful.
Yeah.
At such a young age. I mean, he got his first title at, he was 6.5 months old when he got his first title, and that's people that do it understand the amount of work that goes into it. I mean, even if you don't do it for a specific reason other than obedience, the patience you have to have.
Oh yeah.
With a dog
is constant.
Yeah. It's nonstop.
Yeah.
So
do they adjust that fast?
What do you mean?
Like, for the retraining. So, like, he has a shitty day, and then you can fix him at night?
Absolutely not.
I didn't think so.
But it makes me feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I mentioned it before, but, back home, my dad raised black and tan coon hounds.
Yep.
Yeah. And there were nights that them dogs just didn't want to hunt.
Yeah. Absolutely, they do not.
Yeah. And it usually wasn't 2 nights in a row, but my dad, he never, like, it was never that, like, if we take them out and they didn't want to hunt, it was like, all right, fine. He goes, I know what I'm going to get out of them tonight. And obviously different perspective for us because we weren't doing it as a job. It was like it was a pleasure, leisure thing. But also, it could be, if we're with a group, it could be kind of embarrassing if your dog doesn't go out there and perform.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like, nope, just put him in the truck. We'll hunt with somebody else's dog, and then we'll try it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
So,
so I say that he won't perform. I think on his worst day, like, I've gotten tips for the way my dog worked. You know what I mean? Like, people have tipped me.
Yeah.
For the way my dog worked. But I know what he's capable of.
So you hold him to an impossibly high standard.
I wouldn't say it's impossibly high. It's not impossibly high.
Come on, Zach.
But, it's something, sometimes it's literally something as simple as he just refuses to cast. Like, I need him to go to the left, and he gets it in his head that it's like, no, I know better, But there are certain situations that apply where So like, if we have a crippled bird and I send him and he decides that he watched that one sail way out there and then just fold up and die.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But that is his bread and butter. He loves the long retrieves. If he can go mock Jesus for 200 yards, that dog, if he could do that every day, that's all that dog would do.
Yeah.
And so he might have watched that one sail out there, and it's like, okay, but I know that bird's dead.
Yeah.
And that one's crippled, right? And if you don't go get that one, it's going to turn into a 400-yard retrieve that I'm walking 150 of, or I'm walking all 400 to go get it. So now I'm leaving clients in the blind with no caller. You know what I mean? Nobody to call the shot.
Yeah.
And sometimes he just gets on his little, nah, man, I know better. And it's, nah, you know that thing around your neck? I'm about to show you why you don't know better.
Yeah. And that kind of breaks it down to a very clear, what we kind of talked about before, not you and I, but we've talked about on the podcast of, in my job, having an overall incident commander.
Right.
Because Gunner only has a very small picture.
Yeah.
And that's what he's focused on, regardless of what else is going on. It's the same thing with the fire department. Firefighters are focused on this part of the picture.
Yep.
Captains a little bit more, incident commanders, chiefs, all the way out here.
Right.
They're seeing everything, and you have to have that.
And that applies to just about everything. I mean,
absolutely.
I'd imagine LEOs, I know, like military, we always have that. Like, dude, I was a Marine. Like, I'd sit through a 2-hour, 5-paragraph order, and then when it was done, it's, hey, what was the end state? To go kill them all? Well, how are we going to do that? Well, we all know the plan's going to fall apart the minute shots start getting fired, so we're just going to do it with our guns. And my buddies on the fob with mortars, like, you know what I mean? Like, but you have that one guy, that company commander on a company operation that sits back on the hill and says, all right, asshole, like, no, stop.
Yeah.
Like, you wait.
Yeah. We need you to go that way.
Yeah. And I mean, it's totally an applicable thing in just about everything in life. He just happens to have 4 legs, can't talk, or opposable thumbs, and some not so finer moments. So, I feel like he got all these titles, man, and he just thinks he's somebody. So, well, he deserves it, though. That dog is, anybody that's seen him work, like, he works his ass off. I mean, I'm helping the same guy I was talking about earlier. I'm helping him train his dog, and like, my dog is the example. Like, I run him so his dog can watch it and see what's right and what's wrong. And I mean, I do have to give so much credit to him on how hard he works, because every time we go out, man, he's 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So it's part of the teamwork making the dream work thing, but I definitely think that, and I would say that any waterfowler would agree that, like, our dogs, they get the shit into the stick, even though they have the time of their life. They got all the hard work. Like,
oh yeah,
what do I get to do? Drive out in the field, put some decoys in the ground, maybe brush up a line, call a little bit, pull a trigger. Hey man, we'll see you when you get back from that 200-yard run with that 13-pound goose in your mouth. You know what I mean? Like, yep. they get the shit into the stick, and I love him. I do. He's got his moments, but damn it, I love him. And I think that he is they say you only get one really good dog in your entire life, and I thought my last one was it. I think he is definitely, he filled the shoes real quick when I lost my last one. Dude, and that dog is just, he hasn't stopped. Every hunt we go on, he does something wild. Saturday we went out, and I mean, we absolutely pummeled teal. We shot a 3-man limit by 7:45. I mean, just, it was stupid what happened. So he comes back from this. We had a cripple that had swam off into the reeds and kind of ducked back out, and I was able to line him up and get him on it. And I mean, it was 200 yards of, we would step out there and we're up to our knees in muck, and it was every bit of 200 yards of that the whole way out there. And he does it, and he comes back, and then the very next volley, there's a bird, I mean, sitting in the water from probably 15 yards away. And one dog went out here, and I sent him on that one. And he's always hit the water so hard that when he hits the water, he has to stop if it's right there and like orient himself, because it's just this fucking tidal wave that comes out there. And he does it, and he's orienting himself, and I'm looking, and the bird is like nowhere to be found because it dove under.
Oh, shit.
Still had enough life to dive under. And then, like, I'm trying to, kind of, do I say anything? Like, let's ride this out. I'm looking through the spread, waiting on it to pop up, because I know there's nothing for it to grab underwater. And all of a sudden, this dickhead just decides to go diving for apples, I guess, and comes up with a teal in his mouth. And I've heard of dogs doing it. I've never witnessed it. And sure enough, he did. Full head, underwater. Comes up with a teal in his mouth. And what? How did you see it? What just happened there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What act of nature was that?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm
Good
excited.
At what he does, man.
I'm excited to get him in front of clients, and then hopefully next summer get him back on the test line. And I got that other dog that we're gonna start working with her real hard on upland, and maybe doing some upland tests with her. And that's another thing that we're gonna dabble in a little bit this season. Never really was a big pheasant hunter per se, but the population's on the way back up, and I have this gorgeous pointing lab that is an absolute spaz. Any of you that own any pointers, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But she is an extremely well-trained dog, and she's got it. I mean, you can see it, and it's there. And so we're going to get her back into it this season, hopefully get the girlfriend out, get her walking some fields and hunting. Because her biggest pet peeve with waterfowl hunting is she sits there and she gets cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, my solution to that is like, well, we can just go stomp through miles of brush, and I bet you stay warm. So.
As a kid, I was the same way.
Yeah.
I hated, I say hated is a strong word. I disliked deer hunting. Because for the most part, now whenever we went and ran dogs for deer hunting, I love that because that was fun. Because you're always, you're flying around dirt roads and trucks, and it's cool.
Oh yeah.
But still hunting, you're just sitting there and waiting. And I mean, not like it gets super cold in Louisiana, but to a 10, 11-year-old,
it don't take much.
It don't take much.
And more importantly, man, like that.
But I loved squirrel hunting.
Yeah. Because you're walking.
Yeah.
You're walking around.
Yep. Walking. It's a little bit warmer because the season's earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so fun.
Man, I'm a firm believer that all you deer hunters out there there are more than one bolt's loose. I mean, I understand the concept. I understand the chase. But that whole, like I'm duck hunting, man. I get to sit around and bullshit with people and crack jokes, and the only thing I really got to worry about is which way the wind's blowing, because the birds are going to land in the wind. Those guys go out there and they sit in those stands, and it's like,
yep,
dude, you've done how many sits this year, and you still haven't?
And you got to be quiet.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you got to be quiet.
Can't take anything with you. You got to make sure that you don't smell.
Yeah, got to make sure you don't shoot the squirrel that's been driving you nuts.
Yep.
You can't pin him to the ground with an arrow. Like,
yep.
Yeah, man, that's a whole art that you guys can keep on your side. Like, I don't want.
Yeah.
I don't want.
Did you see the thing on the news from down south?
Oh yeah, that kid that killed that ranch buck that had gotten out.
No, I'm talking about the squirrel poachers.
No, that's a new one. I missed that.
Yeah. The conservation department got a tip, and they rounded up, I want to say, it's like 6 or 8 guys. Might have been a little bit more than that. 471 squirrels.
Oh, my God.
Yes. In like 3 days. First off.
That's almost kind of impressive.
Let's
talk about
super
what they
impressive.
were shooting and where they got that much ammo. That's what I want to know.
Yeah. So they were 140 or 150 squirrels over the limit for however many people they had. Because I think here I think it's 20 squirrels in 2 days.
Okay.
Is what the limit is. So like back home, it's 8 in Louisiana.
Oh, no shit.
It's 8 squirrels a day. That's it.
Wow.
and then you could only have so many, like, at home or whatever.
Right.
But
yeah,
here
like
it's like, here it's 20, and they have to be clearly identifiable. Like, you can't just put them all in a pile. They have to be
they do the whole
individual.
community bag. Like,
Yeah.
that's my, yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that. Yeah.
Dude, that's, and I'm sure that fine's going to come per squirrel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Over squirrels.
Yep.
Really? You're gonna poach squirrels? You couldn't have picked something better?
I don't know, man. Maybe we're missing something. Maybe there's a black market thing going on for squirrels right now.
I guess. Squirrel kidneys, that's the new thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, they are tasty. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Did you see that about that buck though that I was talking about?
Huh.
Yeah, I can't remember where it was. It was out in Kansas. Kid shot he was out hunting. Maybe it was Missouri. He was out hunting, and there was a deer farm that one of his big breeder bucks had gotten out. And I mean, this thing is like, dude, this thing's rack is like this wide. It's just stupid. You've seen the farm, high fence deer.
Yeah.
You know, it's just stupid. So this kid shoots it, right, and reports it, thinks he has a world record, obviously, right? So then this deer farm comes out and is like, oh, no, that's actually my deer, and it's been missing for like 3 weeks. So then they proceed to try, and they're trying to like charge. And I mean, it's a kid. I think he's 15 or 16.
I think I did see a headline about that, but I didn't read the article.
Yeah, there's this huge fight going on right now because I guess the ranch is trying to come after him because, I mean, those deer are valued at just astronomical prices. I mean, astronomical.
I get that, but the fault is not on the kid.
Exactly.
He killed the deer in season.
Apparently the state is telling that ranch to F off. I mean, which I totally agree with because it's a wild animal at that point. If it gets out of its confinement area.
It's not like it's wearing a collar.
Yeah, and then on top of that, it's been gone for 3 weeks, and you didn't report it to Fish and Game?
Yeah.
Sounds like a you problem.
Yeah.
Sounds like you did something you shouldn't have done, and you were trying to keep it under wraps, honestly. But that's my own personal opinion. So
could be.
But yeah, I don't know how as a deer farmer you miss that a deer that big is gone.
I mean, maybe it's a big deer ranch or something. They have a lot of acreage or something.
They say it was one of his big breeder bucks, one of his big money breeders. So I don't know, man. That was a wild one. That was a really wild one. So
that's
craziness.
Yeah.
There's always drama somewhere in this industry. I swear. Doesn't matter if it's waterfowl or deer or fishing or
anything. Yeah. Well, and I'm not a big fan of. Sorry, I just gotta do that real quick. I am not a fan of that whole deer farm thing or any type of game animal in that manner. And maybe that's just because of kind of how I grew up. It wasn't like a thing.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't really understand it.
Yeah.
So maybe there's some benefits to it that I don't know about, but.
So I've got a buddy up north that does it. And actually a lot of what his animals go to is like he very rarely sells them to hunters for high fence hunts. I mean, very rarely. A lot of it is that like, those antlers get so big and then they cut them off and they sell them and they get turned into dog chews or they get turned into like furniture and decorations and stuff like that. So I guess the positive side of that is that it's got to be putting a damper on like the poaching side of the house. You don't have guys going out there knowing that, hey, I can go sell a 12-point typical rack for, and I'm not kidding, they can go sell that for a couple grand.
Damn.
And there's stupid money in it, and they could go sell it for a couple grand, and so now they're out spotlighting deer and shooting these monsters that you could have been watching for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And all that poor bastard did was stand up when he got spotlighted from his bed.
Yeah.
So I get it. I don't agree with the growing them for guys to go kill them. That's not a.
Yeah. That's not really hunting to me.
No, but it's, it's part of today's world. If you can monetize it in some way, shape, or form, somebody's going to do it.
Yeah.
So, and they'll find somebody to back them on it, and they will find somebody to, lobby for them or whatever they need. So,
yeah. The one thing I am okay with, though, is the helicopter minigun hunting of hogs.
I am 100% okay with that, and I will be doing that in the near future, and I cannot wait to do that.
I just have this vision of my head of going, that was $40. That was $40.
Yep. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with the fully auto rifles and pay just the flat fee. And then I'm going to warn them ahead of time. After I pay them, I'm going to be like, you guys do know that I was in the Marine Corps, right? So that one case of ammo you brought, you might want to throw like 3 or 4 of those up here. Trust me. Oh, give me another guy to start loading mags too, because he's going to need it. So
I so want to do that.
Yeah, I think it would be a blast. I really do.
Yeah.
So, and it's, it's for a good cause. Like, all those guys are hunting on crop farmers' lands. Like, they're helping farmers out, It's not like it's an invasive species.
Yeah.
So,
and they're doing a terrible amount of destruction in Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas.
They're up in Oklahoma now.
Yeah, they're in Missouri.
Yeah, Missouri.
In southern Missouri. Apparently, they have a pretty good handle on them. From the article that I read, but I find it hard to believe with how fast they spread just in the area of Louisiana that I grew up in. Because I remember going out whenever I was real little and hunting, and, my neighbors growing up, they hog hunted. So they had hog dogs, and so we would go out there and do that with them sometimes. But when me and my dad would go squirrel hunt or deer hunt or whatever, never really saw a hog sign.
Yeah.
Or, anything at all. Like, okay, every now and then we'd see something. But then, by the time that I was a teenager and going out, I mean, it was everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're tripping over the shit. And it's like...
You're walking with another gun just to kill hogs in case something happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. And God damn, they're mean bastards, too.
Yeah.
They're mean as shit. So, yeah, it's a matter of time. I mean, before they end up in Kansas and, just move north. I mean, it's, when females are throwing anywhere from 40 to 60 piglets a year, like,
yeah,
dude, you can't.
Yeah, you can't hardly keep up.
Yeah, there's no way. I mean, not within the confines of hunting regulations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, there are things you would have to do.
And correct me if I'm wrong, you may know this better than I would, but I'm pretty sure that in Texas and Louisiana and maybe it's Arkansas, it's just open season.
Yeah, it's so it's kind of like coyotes here. I mean, it's a nuisance season, but yeah, you go hunt hogs whenever you want to hunt hogs down there, pretty much. I mean, I know plenty of outfitters down there and charter guys that they go fish all day. Hey, you guys want to go kill the shit out of hogs? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those states actually have pretty cool programs where that meat gets donated back. To the homeless.
Yeah.
Which I think is good. It's not like it's just a slaughter fest that
it
goes to wait. Like, you still got to have a little bit of respect for the animal that you're harvesting. And
yeah.
So.
Well, and I wouldn't be okay with it if it was just kill them and let them lay.
Right.
So, and that's how I grew up was if you kill it, somebody better eat it.
Oh, yeah.
And it better be you.
100%.
If you're doing it for like, it goes to a food bank or shelter or something like that. That's a bonus.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's a huge bonus. That's a huge fight with me too that I deal with all the time. I get clients that fly in and we'll just absolutely slaughter birds and, oh no, man, you keep it. Nah, man, I don't think you understand. I didn't kill it. I have a possession limit, and I'm already at it. So that's a you problem. You know what I mean? Like, I'll clean them. You pay me extra, I'll clean them. I'll seal them. I'll vacuum seal them. And you go buy a little $10 styrofoam cooler. Hell, I'll even buy the cooler and the dry ice for you. I don't care. And put them on an airplane. But I don't want them. I don't want nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't even eat them. Then why did you come out with me?
Yeah.
Like, why?
Why are you hunting something you won't eat?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that the caveat to that, right, is you have the lack of knowledge on cooking wild game. Right?
Yeah.
Or the desire to learn. Like, it's But that is a huge one. Like, okay, so hypothetically speaking, right, like you only eat your steaks medium or well done, right? Dude, do that with the duck breast.
Yeah.
I don't even think your dogs would eat it.
Yeah.
Like,
or cook an elk steak well done.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, cook.
Here's
about
my boot.
anything.
You can chew on that.
Yeah. And so it's, and people just don't. They're like, oh well, it's so much work and blah blah blah, and it's really not. It ain't nothing different than cooking a steak that you pulled out of the freezer yesterday to thaw out. It's just requires a different method. Like, you can't just salt and pepper it, and some people can. Some people do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I've had squirrel that hasn't been, let's say, prepared correctly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the time.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
I'm gonna take the time.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna go out there and do all that, I'm gonna take the time to cook it to where I know it's gonna taste right.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
So,
I think about the only thing I've ever had that's not medium rare is goose fajitas, or like pulled goose in the crock pot. And that's just because you just let it go, It's just like cooking fajitas, but
yeah,
dude, there's enough. I mean, you put a fajita packet on it. There's enough seasoning on that. Hell, there's enough salt in it to shrivel yourself up like a slug.
yeah.
So, but yeah, I think that's another big problem is that people just don't. Well, I don't like it. Well, then you've obviously never had it made right.
Yeah.
I mean, and this ain't no farm goose. This ain't no farm duck. You know what I mean? This is a lot leaner.
Yeah.
A lot tougher. You mess it up, you're going to know you messed it up.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, but that's just my thing.
Well, yeah. And, that's a fight. That's a in the industry fight. I got on Instagram today, and there was a big decoy company in the industry that they went out in South Texas and they killed like 100 teal in like a matter of hours. So your limit's 6, so do the math on how many guys were there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And come on, man. We know A, all those birds didn't get clean. B, like half of them aren't even going to get ate, And it's just but damn it made a great pile pick. Hanging on the quack rack on the Polaris.
Yeah.
Shit.
I remember those pile picks in history books and stuff with wolf pelts.
Oh, yeah.
Stuck on the walls.
Yep.
Yeah. You see what that gets you, right?
Yep. And the sad part about that is that you go look up like the history of waterfowl. Because living in North Carolina when I was out there, that was a big market hunting place back in the day, eastern North Carolina. And so they have waterfowl museums and just, museums in general up in like Currituck and stuff like that. And it's extremely fascinating, to me at least, especially because a lot of the books written on it. Like, I've hunted those places personally. But you go look at those pictures and, I mean, these guys are killing 800-900 birds in 2 days. But every one of those birds got ate because they sent them off to restaurants.
Yep.
It's market hunting.
Yep.
They got ate. And it's why, and now you go see a 10-man limit of ducks and you're like, nah, dude, we all know you guys didn't eat that. Like, had a hell of a time shooting them, and
yeah,
you got a hell of a pile pick. So that's actually one of the things that my social media that I'm going to try and get away from. I've seen a lot of pictures of like telling the story of the hunt.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of it, man. There's a lot of cool shots out there. One of the popular ones now are the nighttime shots, the low, slow exposures, where, you're setting up decoys and you're wearing a headlamp. And it's, that 1 or 2 decoy that's in focus, and then it's like just zigzag lights through the sky. So we're really going to harp on that this year with the photographers and myself, is really work on like telling the story through photos and like short videos. Because I think that the pile pick thing is kind of getting lost in the sauce. It's such a big industry now that you get on Instagram and you type in any waterfowl related hashtags, and it's just pile pick, and and very rarely do you have the tell the story of the work that went in there.
Yeah. And that's the important part.
And to me that's that's why you have the pile pick, you know. So
Well, it's also, I think it's part of the whole social media thing of, that look at me, look what I did.
Yeah.
Not how I got here.
Yeah. You do have the big
just look at this.
The self-satisfaction concept there of
yeah,
look what I can do, and it's like,
yeah,
man, but most of you only do it like once or twice a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
It's about instant gratification and
yep.
you
Social media at its finest, man.
Oh,
I hate it.
I love it. It's awesome.
If anybody's got any ideas on how to advertise for an outfitter outside of social media, let me know, because I can't wait to get rid of it.
Dude, same thing for a podcast.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Right?
That's and we do a terrible job of it. We'd probably be as big as Joe Rogan now. No, we wouldn't. But I think it's here to stay. It is what it is. 100%. It's not going anywhere. I think it's one of those things of you're gonna get out of it what you put into it.
Exactly.
And it can be used. It can be used in very well and for a good purpose.
Oh,
like
definitely.
there's a lot of police departments now that use Twitter. Government agencies do the same thing to let people know what's going on. That's a great use for it. But then you've also got the shitheads.
Oh, yeah.
Because it involves people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's filtering through that and being able to use a little bit of the old noggin for something other than a hat rack. Okay, I don't want to look at that. Don't need to look at that. That's not important. Okay, This is the important shit. This is what I want to see.
Yeah.
This is what's going to enrich my life going forward.
Right.
So
and that's a personal decision. It's definitely turned itself into a necessary evil, though. I mean, 100%.
Absolutely. And the best part about it is it's pretty much free.
Yeah, that's the kicker. Yeah, it's for
all
intents and purposes. It is. It's free. Like, guys like me, it's not free, because we pay to boost posts, or I'll throw a page like a couple $100 to say, hey, put this advertisement at the top for, once a day for a week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We'll do things like that, but for everything else, I mean, it's a free form for me to say whatever the hell I want to with no repercussions other than a nasty gram comment. And,
Gonna get canceled, Zach.
Yeah. Hey, man, like I've had the bouts with TikTok already. So I think that if anybody ever sees me on TikTok, just know, please like the video, because there was 5 of them that got taken down for that one to get posted.
Oh, I love it. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, thanks for coming back on the show, man.
Oh, definitely, man. I love it. So
yeah,
I love it. I'm glad the room's working out for you. It looks great.
Yeah, dude. I want to thank you very much. If it hadn't been for you, I'd probably still be hammering 2x4s together.
Oh man, you're good, dude. It honestly was nothing. Like, it really wasn't. It's not like this turned into a 6-day project. So
yeah,
it didn't turn into a shit show, and it's pretty simple. Like, helps you guys out, and that's what matters. So
we appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
So believe me, I know the other guys too. Unfortunately, they couldn't be here tonight, but I'm glad you got to come back. And dude, I'm super excited to see what's going on with your outfitters and all that stuff. And
we're stoked, man. We're well, of course, and then you have this damn weather.
Yeah.
So you ever want to break a waterfowler's heart, man? Like, have some Kansas weather. I think it was I think the high on, when did this all moved in Monday?
Yeah.
I think the high yesterday was like 60 maybe. And then I looked up the weather today. It's supposed to be fucking 86 degrees on Saturday.
Yep. And close to 90 on Sunday.
I know. That's why I walked in with a hoodie.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. It's supposed to start.
Don't be fooled. I'm sweating my ass off, but I'm clinging on to every hope and dream of wearing something relatable to hunting.
Well,
at this point.
It could be the last gasp of the heat. So
I'm sure it won't be, man. It's Kansas.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Kansas, Missouri area, like Midwest in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hell, it was 65 degrees last year on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And 2 weeks before that, we had like 1.5 inches, 2 inches of snow.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I'm sure it'll be just as moody as. Never mind. I'm just gonna stop right there.
Yeah.
Before I get myself in trouble, I'm gonna stop right there. So, but man, yeah, I really do appreciate you coming out or having me come out.
Yeah.
So, and I gotta say, I appreciate Katie dealing with me, running around. So, Lord knows she's the one that keeps this thing ticking. She's like my personal planner, thank God, because I wake up in the morning, I barely remember who I am.
Well, you're a busy man, so I get it. So.
Yep.
All right, dude. Well, go ahead and end it there. And everybody, thanks for listening. Like we end every episode, if you are struggling, reach out. There are resources out there. If you know somebody that's struggling, reach out. Let them know you give a shit. Let them know they're not alone. Let them know there are resources out there, and take care of yourself.